But thank you for joining me from wherever you are. I will be taking you to the sunny Maldives to Heritance Aarah this afternoon slash evening or morning, depending on where you are. I managed to visit Heritance in September, which was lovely. I went with my now husband. We went on our honeymoon there. And actually, Anita was there with her family last February half term, which is definitely a hack. I would definitely, as a Brit, especially Maldives at February half term is the best, yeah, best time to go away for sure. Um, this webinar is going to be recorded. We will be uploading it to our YouTube and we'll be sending out the recording in a newsletter in the next couple of days. So you will have a copy of the recording. It will also be on the Africa Hub's accommodation hub listing. So on Heritance Aarah's listing on the accommodation hub, you'll find the webinar recording along with every resource you should need for selling Heritance Aarah. Of course, if there isn't anything there, you can always contact myself, Orla, or Anita for any info. So we'll get going. That's not working. There we go. So Heritance Aarah is located in the Raa Atoll in the north of the Maldives. We're about a 40-minute seaplane from Male, and that goes from that main seaplane terminal where we do have a lounge. So you land in Male off your international flight. Transfer is very quick to the new seaplane terminal, and then you hop on your seaplane transfer. Now, I think the seaplane transfer is as much an activity as anything else, particularly if you've got guests who have not been on a seaplane before or not been to the Maldives before. It is absolutely stunning. Our seaplane terminal, our lounge is very comfortable. It's a kind of extension of the resort. You get here, there's food and beverage complimentary. We also offer a complimentary neck and shoulder massage. You can kind of freshen up a little bit. You're never 100% sure exactly how long you're going to be here, only because if there is weather, adverse weather or anything like that, sometimes there can be delays with the seaplanes. So that is why the seaplane terminal and the lounges here are so comfortable, is for this to be kind of an extension of the resort, no matter how long you're there. We were very lucky. We were just here for about 45 minutes. There's a little balcony, so you can kind of watch the seaplanes taking off and landing, which is very cool. It's obviously very quintessentially Maldives. And then when you're at the resort, we have our breakdown of our villas just here. So we have 50% beach villa and 50% overwater villa, and we'll go into a bit more detail about those in just a moment. I've got a handy map of the resort here, and guests are actually sent this on arrival to their WhatsApp, and it is just handy, particularly those first couple of days getting around. I certainly know I pretty much didn't get my bearings, but that's more on me. So it's a very handy map to have on those first couple of days. So you arrive by seaplane and you're greeted by your butler, who greets you at the jetty, along with the staff and a traditional dance and a song welcoming you to the Maldives. Both times I have been to Heritance, our butler has been incredible. It's been really nice to just be able to switch off and know that everything's kind of booked in and sorted. Particularly when we arrived, we knew where we were having dinner every night. If we'd wanted to change it, we could have done so very easily. But they're fantastic at making sure that they've booked you in for dinners at specific restaurants and all the rest of it. So you don't have to kind of think about that in advance. You're whisked off to the main area where you are given a welcome drink, sign any forms that you need to sign, and are set up on the WhatsApp, on a WhatsApp group with your butler. So that means that you have constant, ability to communicate constantly with them and to ask for things to be booked in and things like that. This is a quick look at the facilities for the villas. Sometimes it's quite a scary document to see on a screen like this, but it's really helpful. If you're wanting to know what facilities are included in each room category, you can just have a quick look on this. I will send it through. It will be in our kind of collateral folder. So before I start talking about the villas, I should mention Heritance is an all-inclusive resort as standard. We don't have other board rates. We only have our premium all-inclusive. So that is 4 restaurants included in all room categories. That is all the bars included in your room categories, and very extensive drinks list, including a very extensive and very high-end wine list included as well. The restaurants that are included on an unlimited basis, so you can dine there as often as you like. There's no kind of limits on that. And it's a really generous offering, particularly in the F&B, meaning that you don't have to worry about your extras bill at the end when it comes to your food and beverage. And it's very, very clear and easy to navigate those extras when they do arise or when you might want to add them on. So you've got the 4 restaurants included, you've got most of the bars included, and you do have a few activities included as well, which I'll chat about in a minute. But in your rooms, you have a very well-stocked minibar in most room categories, that is with a few bottles of wine, some beers, soft drinks, and then a few snacks as well. So, and that is replenished daily. So you have that and also your fruit basket as well. So our beach villas are our entry-level room category. There is 51 of these. I love a floor plan. I always refer back to floor plans. I find them so handy. And one thing to look at on the floor plan is most of our villas categories have got this day bed, which can be converted into a single bed. So that without having to add in an extra piece of furniture, you can have a single bed for a child added into any of these rooms that have this day bed. You've got lovely spacious room, you've got a lovely spacious deck. Obviously, you're a stone's throw from the ocean, you're right on the beach there, and it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of this lush greenery around, which keeps it very private. And then this lovely indoor-outdoor bathroom. This is my favourite feature in the beach villas. They all have this sort of indoor-outdoor bathroom, and there is a shower in the sort of covered part of the bathroom as well as outside, in case it might be raining, although then what's the difference? We then have our pool beach villas, the exact same layout, but you have a pool out the front there, which is really nice if you've got guests who do want to have their own private pool. We do have our main resort pool, but if they want their private pool, then these are a great option as well. And I really love the thatch in all of our villas. I think there's a few areas that I will talk about that really touch on Maldivian culture and give you that kind of reminder that you were in the Maldives. I think there's that danger of being dropped on a private island in the middle of the ocean where you could be anywhere. And I think you get sort of little touch points throughout your stay at Heritance. I think the thatched roofs, it's a very traditional Maldivian vibe. We then have our family beach villas. So these are, again, I find the room categories at Heritance quite easy because they're all fairly similar in terms of their layout. The family beach villas are essentially 2 beach villas stuck together, and you have this interconnecting section in the middle. They still have that day bed in both rooms, which can be converted into a single bed. So you can add in extra kids there without having to add in extra furniture. So if you have our family of 5, like Anita is, when they stayed last February, you can pop 3 kids in the one room and mum and dad can have their own room, which is really lovely. Both have the open air bathroom, and then we also do have these villas with a pool as well. So you're right here on the beach. What's quite nice, I was chatting to an agent about this recently, the resort is sort of unofficially zoned. So you have the family villas are actually a little bit closer to the kids club and the recreation area. And then you have, we have our adults only section, which I'll chat about in a minute. And so you have these sort of unofficial zoning happening where what you need as a family is close to your family villas. So the family pool beach villas, the exact same as the family beach villas, you just have that additional pool at the front there. We then move into our overwater category. So our ocean villas are the entry into the overwater, and there are, oh my God, I can't remember how many there are of these. There are 45 of these, I believe. Goodness, sorry. It actually does say it earlier in the presentation. So again, you've got a very similar layout. You've got this day bed here, so we can add children in, naturally children of a certain age. I know that we can do young kids in overwater villas, but guests do have to sign a waiver. But I also know that quite a lot of you guys at tour operators and travel agents have policies against children under a certain age over water. That's obviously discretionary completely. A similar layout, you've got that gorgeous rich dark wood, that beautiful thatch. You're obviously overlooking the beautiful Indian Ocean and have direct access into the water as well down your private staircase. And there is actually a freshwater shower just here, sort of halfway down the stairs, which is quite handy. And we have this cool window in the floor, so you can look through into the water underneath. It's quite fun sort of swimming under it and waving to your partner above you. And then we have our ocean suites. So there are 25 ocean suites. These are our sort of more premium overwater category, and these are adults only. So this section is adults only. They are a duplex, so 2-story layout. You have the bedroom upstairs, you have a living area downstairs, and you actually have a bathroom up and downstairs as well. There's a bathroom with double shower upstairs, and then there's a bathroom with a shower and a bath downstairs. Again, you've got that window in the floor there, and you have an infinity pool overlooking the water. So you have the pool and the ocean right there to swim in the whole time. I think these ones really suit those kind of honeymoon couples, or couples who are really going to make the most of their villa and are going to really hang out in their room a lot, and really make the most of this amazing space, because it is so spacious here. You also do have a little kitchenette. These rooms come with a wine fridge or a wine cellar, and this comes with 30 bottles of wine in it, which can be replenished up to twice a day. Naturally, we don't expect guests to be getting through 30 odd bottles of wine a day, but it's the variety. It's so they can pick and choose what they like, and that, whatever they are enjoying can be replenished on a regular basis. So they also have the standard mini bar as well. We then have our ocean residence. There is only one of these. This is located at the end of one of those jetties, and it's got a beautiful big infinity pool. You've got 180-degree views of the ocean, completely uninterrupted, and you've got 2.5 bedrooms, I would call it. So we've got our living dining space downstairs. We've got a double bedroom with ensuite downstairs as well, and we have a single bedroom downstairs also. Upstairs then we have another double bedroom with ensuite. As you can see, absolutely stunning, fantastic option for, I think, family with older kids, teenagers, or grown-up children, or even 2 couples traveling together. I think it would be really cool on a kind of like mates break. It would be very fun. So that's a really, really cool option. So as I mentioned, the ocean suites and ocean residence, well, the ocean suites are adults only, and they are in a kind of adults only section of the resort. So that jetty is adults only. It comes with an extra restaurant, and it also comes with an extra bar and a private kind of communal pool, which I will chat about in the dining experiences and bars. And that is all adults only and included just for those ocean suites guests. What's quite nice is if you're not staying in the ocean suites, you kind of probably wouldn't really know those are there. And so therefore you kind of don't really feel like you're missing out. It would be put as an option by your butler. Anyway, in terms of restaurants, we have got these top 4 here are included for all guests, and they're included on an unlimited basis. So we have Ranba, which is our kind of, I suppose, our main restaurant really. It's a buffet restaurant. It's open breakfast, lunch and dinner. It's where most people dine for breakfast, right on the beach. We've then got Ralu, which is open for brunch kind of menu, lunch and dinner. Ginifatti is a seafood kind of beach barbecue style restaurant. One of my faves. It's just absolutely, yeah, my kind of favorite setting, which, and you'll see why in a minute. And then Ambula Restaurant, which is a Sri Lankan Maldivian tasting menu. It's an 8-course menu with matching wines, and that's what you've got included in your all-inclusive. So you can see it's it's a lot of variety. So for guests having a longer stay, you're not going to get bored of going to the same restaurant every night. If you want to do that, then you totally can, but you can also dine around the whole time. We've then got Hatha Restaurant, which is comes at a supplement for all guests, and that's simply because it's a very small restaurant. We can't have guests expecting that they're going to get it when they stay, but we do try to ensure that if guests want to eat there, they can. And we then have Barney Restaurant, which is that adults only restaurant, which is exclusive for those Ocean Suites guests. So Ranba, this is our buffet restaurant. This is where most guests have their breakfast. In beautiful setting. Raleigh Restaurant, for those guests who have slept in a little bit maybe and want to have brunch here, they have their brunch menu and then lunch and dinner, and it's a kind of Mediterranean fusion a la carte menu. That's me enjoying it. That was one of my favorite fish dishes of the stay, which is saying something because we ate a lot of fish. We've then got Gini Fatti, which is the seafood restaurant. I absolutely love this setting. You can just kick your shoes off, feet in the sand, and it feels really beautiful and private. It's just, yeah, one of my favorite spots on the island, especially in the evening. The most incredible prawns there. And then our Mula restaurant, which is our Sri Lankan Maldivian tasting menu. So again, that's another one of these places where you're getting that lovely cultural touch point. You're tasting the flavors of the region. A lot of the dishes are kind of quite traditional dishes that have then been sort of fine dining up and made into something very, very cool and very unique, and then matched with beautifully paired wine. This is just a really, really unique experience, and it kind of, it's a fine dining experience that sort of stands up against some of the fine dining experiences you get, in Europe, in Australia, and I think it's a really, really incredible one to have included. It's also won a lot of awards, this restaurant as well, so it is our award-winning spot. That's my partner and I enjoying our dinner there. And then we have Hatha restaurant. So this is that one that comes in a supplement for all guests. You can see why it's a very small restaurant. It's that kind of Thai, Japanese street food kind of fusion. Very a big performance. It's teppanyaki. So he's setting the oil on fire. It's a lot of kind of throwing the food up in the air. Real cool performance. It's as much about the experience as it is about the delicious food. And then we have Barney Restaurant, which is located right by those ocean suites, and has an incredible menu there that is adults only as well. So really nice for those ocean suites guests. Then we have some extra little dining experiences, things like a floating breakfast, which guests can enjoy if they're staying in one of those rooms with a pool. We also have our Sri Lankan cooking demo, which is very cool. We actually took some of the recipes home from that one, and he shows you how to make all these beautiful dishes, and then you get to eat them, which is even better. And then we have the photo in the middle there is of that teppanyaki restaurant, of Hatha restaurant. We then have our bars. So there's a few different bars. Generally, they're kind of attached to a restaurant. So what's nice is you've always got a beautiful spot for a sundowner just before dinner, which I really appreciated. We've got Bandi Bar, which is at our main pool. So this is our main pool where most guests, if they're wanting to have a swim in fresh water, will hang out in the day. And there's the bar here as well. There's always a really good buzz at the bar, especially after dinner. So if guests are wanting to be a bit more social, we came down here one evening, got chatting with other guests, and it felt really nice and social because sometimes, I think in the Maldives in particular, a lot of people are there to keep themselves to themselves and to have a really private experience. So if you want that more social side, this is a really nice spot for that, and you can sort of opt into it. We've then got Sky Bar. This is above our Mula restaurant. It's got beautiful 360-degree views of the island and the ocean, and a great spot for sunset. And then we have Udras Infinity Pool Bar. So this is included only for Ocean Suites guests. So this is on that same jetty. It's actually opposite Barney Restaurant. And so it's private to Ocean Suites guests. It's a communal pool here, so therefore it's adults only, which is really nice, particularly I suppose if you've got kind of honeymooners traveling in the school holidays, say they know that they've got this space that is completely private to adults, and there is the bar there as well. And then we have Farlu Bar. Farlu Bar is actually just off Barney Restaurant. It's actually a whiskey specialist bar, so the team here are very, very knowledgeable about their whiskies, and so they will get you sort of trying things you didn't think you would try, and that is also adults only. And then we have Ralu Bar and Lounge. So this is obviously with Ralu Restaurant. It's actually a rum specialist bar, so amazing rum cocktails behind this bar and a really, really knowledgeable staff again. That was quite loud. And the bar here is my favorite sundowner spot because you can literally sit, if you get the right seat, you can sit and just watch the sunset directly in front of you. And I've talked about all of these amazing bars and all the very knowledgeable staff. And I literally, all I did the whole trip was drink champagne. They have Tattinger's champagne included on the all-inclusive. And I really made the most of that. I sort of pretended like I was going to pick something different every evening, but we knew what I was choosing. Definitely a champagne girl, and not so much on cocktails. So my partner tried every cocktail he could. Then in terms of activities, so there is so much to do here. One of the reasons why we chose to come to Heritance is because of the activities. We're both quite busy. And Anita came here with her family. Her kids are so busy, so active, and there is so much to do here. You will not be bored. If guests want to just sit by the pool and read a book the whole time, they can totally do that. And if guests want to get out and about and be doing lots of activities, they can totally do that as well. So, of course, we have water sports, which I will talk about. Included is stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking. There's also kite surfing, water skiing, diving, snorkeling, windsurfing. We've got our recreation area, which is great for a rainy day, but also fantastic for, I think, teenagers. It's great for. We have excursions. We have a certain number of excursions included depending on the length of stay. So things like our sunrise cruise, our sunset cruise, we can go out fishing. We also do a dolphin cruise as well. And then we've also got the spa, we've got our main pool, we've got the kids club, and then yeah, just so many activities here. So stand-up paddleboarding and kayaking, as I said, are included. We've got clear kayaks, which are really cool. So you can go out and you can actually see through the kayak to under the water to the fish. We have a paddy dive school on the property, run by a third party, and it is a brilliant diving here. We have a great house reef, but guests can also, we're in the Raa Atoll, so amazing diving all over. Guests can head out and dive on other spots as well if they are keen divers. The snorkeling is brilliant, and the reef is quite shallow in some areas, so particularly off those ocean suites rooms, you can get in the water and literally go off with your snorkel and mask on and have an amazing snorkeling experience. You just go to the dive centre, grab a snorkel and a mask, and you can have it for your whole stay. We have the games room, so we've got table tennis, pool, we've got actually a video games room as well. I think most parents kind of want that locked up. We've got table football as well. We have the gym here in this area also, which is actually really well equipped. We did use this gym while we were here and it is incredibly well equipped. And then there's also the courts. We've got tennis, badminton, and actually paddle tennis as well, which I got so into. We loved playing paddle. It's much easier than tennis, thankfully. Although not so easy in like 32-degree heat, but a great workout. We've also got a brilliant kids club. So it is a really big kids club. It's really well equipped. You've got staff who speak many different languages, and a beautiful outdoor space as well. So this is open all day. The only time guests need to take their children out is for meal times. We don't do meal times in the kids club at all. That's simply due to things like allergies. But it is really well equipped, and it is for guests age 4 up to the age of 12. And then what's really nice, and what I think Heritance do really well, is sometimes that age bracket from sort of 12 and up, who've sort of aged out of the kids club but aren't quite adults yet, maybe are a little bit missed sometimes. And I think and they don't necessarily want to be in a club anymore. And there's a lot of activities, as we've chatted about already, for kids of that sort of age group, that sort of early teens and into their teenage years. You can also take bikes out on the resort, so guests can have bikes throughout their stay. And so there's a real element of freedom that I think teenagers can have in this kind of one island, one resort model, because it is so safe. They can go cycling around, it's all inclusive, so they can grab, a soft drink at the bar or a snack, and there's no worry about sort of what bill they're racking up, on the other side of the island. So they can have a real freedom, I think, here, which is really lovely. We have our Medi Spa. There is a whole host of treatments that you can have here. They've actually just revamped the Medi-Spa menu. There's a real emphasis on traditional Chinese medicine here and alternative therapies. There's also sort of more traditional massages and facials. There's whole kind of treatment menus that you can kind of have over the course of a few days. So if guests are really wanting to have a wellness escape, then this is incredible. It's a really big space as well. They do yoga out on the yoga deck here, and you can have a full wellness trip here at Heritance, which is lovely. I think that is a trend that we're really seeing pick up as well, as those coming away and not necessarily using the all-inclusive and drinking loads of alcohol and things throughout their trip, maybe coming away and having a real detox and really kind of honing in on your well-being, and that's certainly a trend that I think is sort of popping up again and again. We have our excursions, and as I said, some will be included. There'll be a certain number included depending on the length of stay. We've got our sunset cruise. We head out at sunrise. We head out fishing. That's actually a fantastic rainy day activity. It was raining one day that we were here and we headed out fishing. It was great. We didn't care that we were getting wet. We had a good laugh. There were other guests with us who were also having a good laugh, and it was just really good fun. And we also have our dolphin cruise where guests head out to look for dolphins as well. And then again, we have another cultural touch point through our Maldivian village excursion. So this is where guests can go around. They can learn a little bit about the history of the Maldives, the language, the culture, the food, and just the ways of traditional life in the Maldives. And I think it's a really lovely way to learn a little bit more about the Maldives and the place that you're staying. You could so easily go away and know nothing. And so I think it's a really lovely way, again, through all these different touch points, to really get under the skin of the destination, even though you're on a resort island. This is a little video of Anita's family actually doing the Maldivian village experience. So this is on the island. They do this once a week, and they take guests through learning a little bit about the Maldives. I think it's a really fun activities for families with kids, sort of older kids, because they can really get involved and really get hands-on. We then also have the option of heading over to a local island. So it's about a 15-minute boat ride away. So it's not far at all. A lot of our staff are from the island. So we were actually shown around when Anita and I went over by this lovely gentleman on the left here. He took us to his home. We met his mum and his sisters. It was a really lovely way of seeing, if you're not going to stay on a local island, seeing what a local island is like. People actually live in the Maldives, and learning a little bit about that, I think, is really important. We saw the school was out that day, so it was nice and quiet, and we just sort of wandered through and just had a look at the classrooms without disturbing anyone. And then we also went over to, there's a 200-year-old mosque on the island, which was really cool to see, and just a really nice, quite a relaxed sort of excursion. We just sort of had a little wander around. It wasn't very long, but it was just enough to kind of get that little taster of the Maldives and what the real Maldives looks like. And then we do have some fantastic sustainability credentials. I will send these out because there's quite a lot here and there's a lot of words on the page. But we are the first green rated building in the Maldives, part of Travel Life membership. We have fantastic sewage treatment plant on the island. These things that you need if you're on a relatively remote island. Food waste compost machines. So all of that beautiful green agriculture you see on the island, it is fed by the food waste that is converted into compost. We also utilize solar energy, and that is ever increasing. And we also have a heat recovery system where we recover heat through the generator, and that supplies the resort's hot water as well. So lots and lots that they're doing here. This is a quick look at the rates. Please do reach out for contract rates. Please also do reach out if you'd like to know which tour operators in your market are selling Heritance. If you're going to book through a tour operator, we're also bookable through DMCs like Hummingbird. I know a lot of people use them, but also we can delve into the world of direct contracts as well, if that's something that you're after. So please do reach out to myself or Anita about those. And that is me. Thank you so much for listening to my very stuffy voice. Please pop any questions you might have in the Q&A. So I can get to them now. As I said, we have recorded this, so you can listen to my stuffy voice again via YouTube, and we also will be popping it on the Africa Hub, so you'll be able to find it there on the Indian Ocean Hub. Heritance will be on the Indian Ocean Hub, on the accommodation section of that site. You just type in Heritance Aarah to the search bar and you will find us there. All the resources that you should need for selling Heritance will be there. We will also be sending those out in a follow-up in the next couple of days, so do look out for that in your inboxes as well.